Yeah, yes, yes. First of all, it's so nice and quiet. I watched TV early in the morning, and there were public service announcements. So all those spaces are no longer filled with attack ads. And yes, fill in the blank was sent a message, and that's why this is interesting because the 2010 election actually can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, and in reality may have sent different messages to different people that they need to do something different. The problem is sorting out who the messages were sent to and what they should do differently. That is going to come back to haunt him because crying when you win an election and you are now going to become the Speaker of the House, replace Nancy Pelosi, who has horns and is colored red and smells like sulfur and yes, and a forked tail. You would try to not come down with emotional sobbing, and that makes a great commercial of is this man really strong enough in terms of his constitution to take over the country in case something happens to the president or vice president. But third in line, Mr. Boehner. Um, um, it is probably a pretty emotional thing to be the the first time in since 19 I think 30 that the House and the Senate have gone to different parties, and to have retaken for the Republicans to have retaken control of the House with a majority that is larger than the Newt Gingrich avalanche. That you got to be pretty pumped up to do that, and I think his expression of emotion was partly that we did this job, and I think Mr. Boehner partly was a little bit tearful because he was saying to himself, "What have I gotten myself into? I'm going to be the Speaker of the House in the middle of a huge recession, with a Senate controlled by the Democrats, with Tea Party people, firing sniper fire at me every time I walk into the House of Representatives, and the president now basically strategizing to see what kind of hay he can make out of this, because it's going to be pretty complicated to have that kind of split. It's true that Obama now has one house of Congress that's in the Republicans' control, and so he no longer has to bear the responsibility for things not going better, for the entire government, because when you have both houses and you're the president, it's the Democrats' fault. On the other hand, I think what can happen is that um, the Republicans in the House can make things pretty complicated by saying, hey, the last strategy of just saying no to everything that Obama wants worked pretty well. We won enormous parts of the country. It was a red bloodbath all over the country. Blue disappeared from the American map, and places where nobody who is a Republican should win, won. And some places it was really, really close. And so let's just follow the same strategy and say, look, we want to repeal healthcare reform. We want to kill it. We want to put a garlic on it and a spike through it and a cross. And so we're going to introduce legislation in the House to do that because the American people don't want it. Oh, then the Senate says, no, we don't want to do that. And Obama says, no, we don't want to do that. Okay, fine. The American people voted us in to kill healthcare reform. You don't want to do it? Okay. Now let's vote to keep the Bush tax cuts for everybody permanent. Let's make them permanent. Let's not let them expire. No, let's not renew them for 2 years. Let's make them permanent. That sends a message that we want people to go out and spend that money and stimulate the economy. House says that. Senate says, oh, no, no, President Obama doesn't want that. He wants to. And then Boehner says, fine. So then the tax cuts expire, and everybody's taxes go back to what they were when the Bush tax cut was passed. I mean, in other words, he can, as Speaker of the House with a huge majority like that, he can make it very difficult. And Obama is going to have a hard time pushing his agenda, which he already had a difficult time before with. So we'll see how this works out. Other people are saying, no, what Obama is going to do now is try to sort of split the difference with the Republicans. But it just seems to me this is not a splitting the difference bunch of Republicans that has come in there. I listened to Rand Paul, and he doesn't sound to me like he wants to compromise. Well, it's true that it could be bad for Republicans if there is gridlock. On the other hand, you can make lemonade out of gridlock. Mixing metaphors. You can say, I don't know what you can make. Right. I don't know what you make out of gridlock. But anyway, I guess Lufsa or something. You can take gridlock and say, we were able to stop Obama from completing his socialist agenda and taking over the United States and spending more money and increasing taxes on people and paralyzing the business community and increasing regulation and choking off incentive and growth and entrepreneurship. And we were able to stop the gay rights agenda that Obama was interested in pursuing all over the country. And in 2012, you will see, here, I'll make a prediction. You will see some more constitutional amendments to declare marriage to be only between a man and a woman in a bunch of states in the United States, the ones that haven't had that yet, because that brought out conservative voters with great intensity, and you'll see it on the ballots, not so much because they need to put it on there, but because it's a socially divisive issue that really reaches people who feel very strongly about it. You saw that in Iowa. People forgot that the gay marriage question was not solved and settled in Iowa through the judiciary process, because it is essentially fundamentally also a political issue. But people don't understand is it's both a political issue and a legal issue. And in Iowa, the political part of it exploded with the refusal to do retention on three justices, including the Chief Justice of the Iowa Supreme Court. And it brought out a lot of voters who went to vote for that, who normally wouldn't be interested, gave the Republicans and conservatives, I think, a small boost in the turnout that helped them give Terry Branstad such an enormous, 10-point victory over Culver, and generally helped the Republicans in taking leadership now of the House. And we're not sure, I guess, about the Iowa Senate, but very likely they may take control of the Iowa State House completely. It is a huge mistake analytically to dismiss gay marriage as a divisive issue. And I can tell you this, I'm not going to get into the moral discussion about it, where I stand on it, and so I'm only interested in analyzing the politics of it. You know what happened in New Hampshire? New Hampshire went Republican like it hasn't been for years. And the gay rights issue is an issue there too, or the gay marriage issue. And so it is an issue that is very polarizing, and you'd be surprised what the Republicans can do in 2012 with a lot of stuff. They can say that gridlock was the best we could do because Obama still insisted on implementing his agenda. And in that case, gridlock, Rand Paul more or less said this, that gridlock would be great because it means Washington can't do anything more.